Hello, welcome to this ocean sleep story. I will take you on a journey on the Sea Serenity, the boat I sailed on a long time ago. You will experience sunsets, sunrises, winds, the warmth of the sun, surprising sea creatures, and many more calming memories I made over the years. My name is James Abbott. I am a retired sailor with a lifetime of adventures. In this chaotic world, I craft tales from my personal experiences that soothe and offer respite. Join me on my stories and find calm, celebrating life's simple pleasures. Before you enjoy these moments, I kindly invite you to subscribe. By doing so, we will stay connected. Subscribing ensures you won't miss any of my stories. Your subscription would be greatly appreciated, and I look forward to sharing more tales with you. Now, let's embark on a journey across the ocean. Please join me on the Sea Serenity. The sun hung low on the horizon, casting long, golden ribbons across the endless expanse of the ocean. I stood at the helm of the Sea Serenity, my hands steady on the worn wooden wheel. The ship cut through the azure waters with a grace that only comes from decades of voyaging. This was my world, and I was its humble custodian. The ocean had always been my siren's call, a melody that had echoed through my dreams from a young age. Born and raised in a coastal village, I had grown up with salt in my veins and tales of distant shores whispered in my ear by weathered sailors returning from their adventures. From the moment I had set foot on a ship's deck as a wide-eyed deckhand, I knew that the sea was destined to be my lifelong companion. As the Sea Serenity glided forward, the breeze carried the intoxicating scent of saltwater and adventure. I closed my eyes for a moment, allowing the symphony of sounds to wash over me. The creaking of the ship's timbers, the gentle lapping of the waves against her hull, the distant cry of seagulls, all were music to my soul. The ocean, an ever-changing canvas of blues and greens, had been my teacher and my muse. It had taught me the art of navigation, the capriciousness of the weather, and the power of patience. It had shown me the beauty of solitude and the importance of camaraderie. It had tested my mettle in the face of tempests and offered moments of serenity in the embrace of a calm sea at sunset. I often found solace in the quiet hours of the night, when the world was bathed in the soft glow of the moon and the stars painted constellations across the heavens. It was during those solitary watches that I felt closest to the celestial bodies that guided my way. I would gaze up at the night sky, contemplating the vastness of the cosmos and my own existence as a small but integral part of it. Yet, the ocean was not only a realm of solitude, it was a muse of unparalleled beauty. I recalled nights when the moon, radiant and full, had cast its silvery glow upon the water's surface. The ship's wake had shimmered with an ethereal luminescence, a demonstration to nature's artistry. My thoughts drifted to encounters with fellow individuals drawn from far-flung corners of the world, each carrying their own stories and experience. In waterfront taverns and bustling ports, we had exchanged tales of adventure and adversity, forming bonds that transcended language and nationality. One vivid memory stood out among the rest, a chance meeting with a weathered captain in a remote island sanctuary. His eyes, crinkled with years of salt and sun, sparkled with the knowledge earned through a lifetime at sea. We had shared tales of epic voyages and near misses, and he had imparted the art of navigation with a reverence that bordered on the spiritual. The ship itself, the Sea Serenity, was a testimony to human ingenuity and the enduring partnership between mankind and the ocean. Her sturdy construction and graceful lines were the result of generations of shipbuilders who had honed their craft to perfection. I often found myself in awe of the vessel that had become an extension of my being, her timbers echoing with the stories of countless journeys. With a subtle turn of the wheel, I adjusted our course, aligning our heading with the gentle easterly breeze. The sails billowed, catching the wind's embrace, and the ship surged forward with an effortless elegance that spoke of a connection between humanity and the natural world. It was as if the ship and the ocean were engaged in a timeless dance, a choreography of wind and water. The day unfolded in all its glory, and as the sun reached its zenith, the feeling of gratitude enveloped me. The ocean was more than a vast expanse of water. It was a realm of boundless possibilities, a canvas upon which the stories of my life were eternally painted. And so, as I sailed onward into the uncharted expanse, I embraced each new day with a heart overflowing with appreciation and a spirit ever eager to explore. The ocean, my eternal companion, remained my guiding star, and I reveled in the symphony that played between myself, the ship, and the natural world. In the depths of memory, I found myself standing at the threshold of a new day, bathed in the soft, golden light of dawn. The first rays of the sun kissed the horizon, casting a warm and promising glow upon the world. It was a moment of anticipation, the very essence of setting sail into the unknown. The Sea Serenity lay before me, her sails unfurled and her bow pointed toward the eastern horizon. She was a vessel of grace and resilience, a trusty companion on countless maritime explorations. As I gazed upon her, a rush of excitement coursed through my veins, igniting a familiar fire in my heart. The crew, a seasoned and tight-knit family of seafarers, moved about the deck with purpose and precision. Each member knew their role in the intricate ballet of sailing. The comradeship was palpable, a shared sense of purpose that transcended words. I, too, had my place in this maritime symphony. As the sun climbed higher in the sky, I took my position at the helm. The worn wooden wheel, smoothed by years of handling, felt like an extension of myself. With a gentle turn, I set our course, aligning the ship with the burgeoning light of day. The ocean stretched out before us, an endless expanse of possibilities. There was a unique magic to the early hours, a time when the world felt pristine and untouched. It was a canvas waiting to be painted with the strokes of our journey. The breeze, still cool from the night, caressed my face, carrying with it the scent of salt and adventure. It was a scent that had become ingrained in my very being, a fragrance that reminds of a life lived on the ocean's edge. As we sailed forth, I looked at the beauty of the dawn. It was a time when the veil between dreams and reality was thinnest, when the world held its breath in anticipation of the day's unfolding story. It was a moment when anything seemed possible. The ship glided over the gentle swells, her bow parting the water with an elegant grace. The crew worked in harmony, adjusting the sails to capture the full breath of the wind. There was a rhythm to our movements, a synchronicity born of experience and intuition. With each passing minute, the world transformed. The sky, once a canvas of soft pastels, deepened into a brilliant blue. The sun, a radiant orb of gold, ascended with purpose, casting its benevolent gaze upon our maritime endeavor. It was during these moments that I felt most alive, most connected to the pulse of the universe. The sea, with its timeless and boundless horizons, told me that life was a journey, and each day held the promise of discovery. As we sailed onward into the burgeoning day, I knew that we were not just travelers of the ocean, but stewards of its secrets. The ocean had a way of bestowing insights upon those who sought its depths, and I, as the captain of the Sea Serenity, was a humble student of its teachings. And so, with the sun ascending ever higher, I embraced the journey that lay before us, eager to explore uncharted waters, to face the challenges of the open sea, and to discover the stories that awaited in our maritime adventures. The anticipation of a new day's voyage was a sensation like no other. Each sunrise brought the promise of fresh horizons, uncharted waters, and the thrill of exploration. It was a feeling that I had come to cherish throughout my years as a sailor, embarking on a grand adventure with the ever-present horizon as our canvas. With the ship's course set, I turned my attention to the crew as they moved with the choreographed grace of a well-practiced dance. Their hands deftly adjusted sails, secured lines, and maintained the ship's impeccable condition. It was proof of their dedication and expertise, a synergy of effort that had been honed through countless voyages. As we sailed onward, I found myself lost in the rhythm of the ocean. The waves, like the heartbeat of the ocean, pulsed beneath us, carrying us forward with a steady, reassuring cadence. The ship responded to my touch on the helm, a partnership forged through years of mutual trust. The world around us came alive with the morning's embrace. Seabirds soared overhead, their wings catching the updrafts and casting playful shadows on the water's surface. Their cries filled the air, a chorus of freedom and exploration. The scent of salt and brine hung in the air, a familiar perfume that awakened memories of countless maritime adventures. It was a fragrance that spoke of the ocean's untamed beauty, its ever-changing moods, and the boundless horizons that beckoned. As the sun climbed higher, painting the sky with a palette of oranges and pinks, I smiled. The dawn held a promise that transcended words, a promise of discovery, of challenges met and conquered, and of the unbreakable bond between mariner and the ocean. The crew, a group of individuals brought together by a shared love for the ocean, shared stories and laughter as they went about their duties. In those moments, I was reminded of the friendship that was the heartbeat of life at sea. With the sun now high above us, I took a moment to soak in the beauty of the open ocean. It was a world of boundless horizons and endless possibilities. The ocean had been my teacher, my muse, and my sanctuary, and I was grateful for every moment spent in its embrace. And so, with each passing nautical mile, we embarked on a new chapter of our maritime journey. The day held the promise of uncharted waters, unforeseen challenges, and the ever-present call of the horizon. As we sailed onward, I knew that the adventure had only just begun, and the open sea held its secrets close, ready to reveal them to those who dared to explore. With the sun casting its warm embrace upon the ship's deck, I found myself drawn to the edge of the vessel. The rhythmic sound of the ocean had become a soothing symphony, a timeless melody that resonated with the deepest chambers of my soul. The crew continued their work, their movements choreographed with the precision born of experience. It was a dance of rigging and ropes, of sails and seaward duties, a harmonious ensemble that kept the Sea Serenity gliding gracefully over the undulating waves. My gaze fixated on the ever-changing surface of the ocean. The sea possessed a language of its own, one that spoke in whispers and sighs, in the gentle lapping of waves against the hull and the creaking of timbers. It was a conversation that had accompanied me on countless voyages, a dialogue with the depths. The ocean was not a silent entity, but a storyteller, sharing its tales through the subtlest of sounds. Each wave that broke upon the ship's prow held a narrative, a message from distant shores, a reflection of hidden wonders, and the wisdom of ages past. I closed my eyes, allowing myself to be enveloped by the symphony of the ocean. The world around me faded, and I was transported to a realm of pure sensory perception. The sea's whispers grew louder, and I listened intently, deciphering the secrets it revealed. In the gentle cadence of the waves, I heard the echoes of sailors who had come before me, their voices carried on the breeze. They spoke of distant lands, of encounters with mythical creatures, and of the timeless allure of the open ocean. It was a chorus of seafaring tales, the shared heritage of sailors. The creaking of the ship's timbers was a memorial of her age and resilience, a living proof of the countless journeys she had undertaken. It was a sound that spoke of endurance and craftsmanship, a tribute to the skilled hands that had maintained her through the years. As I stood there, immersed in the sea's whispers, I felt a great sense of connection with the world around me. It was as if the boundaries between self and the ocean had dissolved, and I had become a part of the ocean's grand narrative. The crew, too, seemed attuned to the sea's language. They moved with a fluidity that mirrored the waves, their actions guided by an unspoken understanding of the ship and its elemental surroundings. It was a bond that existed between sailors and the sea. In the distance, seabirds circled overhead, their cries adding to the chorus of the ocean. They were the guardians of the skies, the winged messengers of the ocean, and their presence spoke of the interconnectedness of all life in this maritime realm. As the day wore on, I marvel at the subtleties of the sea's language. Beneath the surface of this seemingly boundless expanse lay a world of wonder and mystery. The ocean held its secrets close, revealing them only to those who truly listened. And so, with the sun casting its benevolent glow upon the Sea Serenity, I stood on the deck, a humble witness to the whispers of the ocean, even in the midst of a grand adventure. There were moments of quiet reflection, of communion with the natural world, with the boundless beauty of the open ocean. As the crew continued their duties, I knew that each member carried with them their own interpretation of the sea's whispers. It was a shared experience, a communion of souls bound by a love for the maritime life. Together, we sailed onward, listening to the timeless stories woven into the very fabric of the ocean's depths. With every passing wave, I felt the ocean's heartbeat, a steady and reassuring rhythm that had echoed for eons. It was a heartbeat that connected me to the sailors who had sailed these waters long before my time. Their stories lived on in the gentle sway of the ship, in the salt-tinged breeze, and in the ever-present horizon. As I listened, I was filled with wonder. The ocean was a vast and enigmatic realm, a place where the mundane and the extraordinary coexisted. It was a world of contradictions, where serenity and tempest, beauty and danger were intertwined in a delicate balance. As the day stretched into afternoon, I knew that the sea's whispers would continue to be our constant companions. They would guide us through the ever-changing tides, offer solace in moments of solitude, and weave stories that would become a part of our collective memory. And so, with the sun beginning its descent toward the horizon, I stood at the helm of the Sea Serenity, a captain humbled by the vastness of the ocean and the sophistication it bestowed. The sea's whispers would forever be etched in my heart, an expression of the enduring bond between mariner and sea. The ocean had always been a realm of fascination and wonder, not just for its vastness, but for the life it cradled within its embrace. Each voyage brought the promise of unique encounters with marine creatures, and it was these moments that filled my memories with vibrancy. One particular memory stood out, an encounter with a school of playful dolphins. It was a day much like this, when the sun painted the water's surface with liquid gold, and the sea seemed alive with boundless energy. As I leaned against the ship's railing, I spotted a distant flicker of movement, a flash of silver breaking the surface. My heart quickened as I realized what it was, a pod of dolphins, their sleek bodies gliding effortlessly through the water. I called out to the crew, and in moments, we had gathered at the ship's bow, our eyes fixed on the approaching spectacle. The dolphins, with their joyful exuberance, seemed to welcome our presence, as if inviting us to share in their aquatic dance. As the pod drew nearer, I could see their eyes, full of curiosity and intelligence, studying us with a knowing gaze. It was as if they recognized the shared kinship between mariners and the creatures of the ocean. The dolphins effortlessly matched the ship's speed, riding the bow wave with grace and finesse. They leaped from the water in perfect arcs, their bodies catching the sunlight before disappearing beneath the surface once more. Their acrobatics were a sight to behold, a witness of the creatures' agility and mastery of their oceanic realm. It was as if they were performing a ballet just for us, a display of pure joy and freedom. I watched in awe as the dolphins continued their aquatic ballet, their movements synchronized in a way that spoke of unity and connection. It was the harmony that existed within the natural world, a harmony that sailors like myself were privileged to witness. The crew and I couldn't help but break into smiles and laughter as we observed the dolphins' antics. It was a moment of pure delight, a respite from the demands of life at sea. In their presence, we were reminded of the simple joys that could be found in the most unexpected places. As the sun sank lower, casting a warm, amber glow over the water, the dolphins gradually peeled away from the ship, their departure as graceful as their arrival. They left us with wonder and warmth, a remembrance that the ocean was a realm of endless surprises and hidden treasures. That encounter with the dolphins was just one of many remarkable moments I had experienced during my years as a seafarer. Each voyage brought the promise of new encounters, from graceful seabirds soaring overhead to the awe-inspiring sight of whales breaching the surface. The ocean, with its boundless depths and diverse ecosystems, was a treasure trove of life. The sea was not just a vast expanse of water, but a living, breathing entity teeming with creatures of all shapes and sizes. I recalled the time we had come across a majestic sea turtle, its ancient eyes peering at us with the experience that transcended the ages. It was a creature of grace and resilience, a symbol of the enduring beauty of the ocean. Then there were the mesmerizing encounters with bioluminescent organisms that turned the night ocean into a celestial display of light. It was as if the very depths of the ocean held the secrets of the stars, and I had been granted a front row seat to this celestial spectacle. As the day wore on and the sun dipped below the horizon, I knew that the memory of those encounters with marine life would stay with me forever. They were the magic of the sea. The ocean held not just beauty, but also the power to inspire. As the stars began to twinkle in the night sky, I feel a deep sense of gratitude for the privilege of being a captain. The ocean had been my teacher, my muse, and my sanctuary, and each encounter with its marine inhabitants had been a gift, an invitation to glimpse the enchanting world that lay beneath the surface. Yet, as night descended and the stars emerged, I found my thoughts drifting to another aspect of life at sea, the thrill and challenges of navigating uncharted waters. The maritime world was a realm of constant change, a place where the ever-shifting tides and currents dictated our course. As we sailed farther from the familiar routes and well-mapped charts, we often found ourselves venturing into uncharted waters, where the promise of discovery and the perils of the unknown coexisted. Navigating these uncharted waters was a test of both skill and intuition. It required an unwavering trust in the ship's instruments, a keen eye for subtle signs in the ocean and sky, and a deep understanding of the forces that governed our journey. One such journey led us to a region known for its shifting sandbars and unpredictable currents. The charts were sparse, and the information we had was limited. It was a leap into the unknown, a venture into uncharted territory that would test our mettle as mariners. As we approached the area, anticipation and apprehension hung in the air. The crew gathered on the deck, their eyes scanning the horizon for any signs of danger. The ship's navigator consulted the charts and relied on celestial observations to guide our way. I stood at the helm, my hands steady on the wheel, as we entered the treacherous waters. The ocean, once calm and welcoming, now took on a different demeanor. It was as if the ocean itself held its breath, waiting to see if we were worthy of passage through its secret domain. The ship's prow cut through the water, and the crew worked in harmony to adjust the sails and maintain our course. Every decision we made, every adjustment to our heading, was a calculated risk, a choice that could lead us to safety or into peril. As we navigated these uncharted waters, I admire the sense of unity that enveloped the crew. It was in moments like these, when the sea demanded our utmost attention and cooperation, that the true essence of maritime fellowship shone through. The shifting currents and hidden sandbars kept us on high alert, our senses attuned to the slightest changes in the sea's behavior. It was a dance of precision and caution, a delicate balance between the urge to explore and the need for vigilance. Hours turned into days as we pressed on through this uncharted expanse. The sun and stars became our guides, their positions in the celestial tapestry offering clues to our location and progress. The navigator's skill was our beacon of hope, a guiding light through the darkness of the unknown. There were moments of tension and uncertainty as the ocean seemed to conspire against our passage. Yet, there were also moments of awe and wonder as we witnessed nature's raw beauty in the midst of this uncharted world. One evening, as twilight painted the sky with shades of purple and gold, we encountered a pod of luminescent jellyfish. Their ethereal glow illuminated the water around us, creating a mesmerizing spectacle of light and color. It was a sight that transcended words, a reminder that even in the face of uncertainty, there was beauty to be found. As the days passed, our perseverance paid off. We emerged from the uncharted waters, our ship unscathed and our spirits renewed. It was a victory, not just in terms of navigation, but also in the triumph of human determination and teamwork. The experience left an indelible mark on each member of the crew. The ocean was a realm of endless surprises and challenges, a place where the boundaries of the known and the unknown blurred. It was a testament to the power of exploration and the human spirit's unwavering quest for discovery. The stars above continued to shine brightly, guiding our way as we ventured forth into the night. The challenges of navigating uncharted waters had left us stronger and more resolute, a crew bound by the shared experience of exploration and the enduring spirit of the sea. As the night sky enveloped us in its inky embrace, our ship sailed steadily through the dark waters. The memories of navigating uncharted waters still fresh in our minds, I think of the otherworldly wonders that awaited us beneath the surface. It was time to dive into the deep blue and explore a world of enchantment and mystery. The ocean had always been a realm of fascination and allure, not just for its surface beauty, but for the secrets it held beneath. Beneath the waves lay a world of wonder, a realm of bioluminescent organisms, strange and beautiful creatures, and the mysteries of the deep. I had always been drawn to the allure of the deep ocean, and it was on one such voyage that I found myself descending into its depths. Equipped with a diving suit and accompanied by a team of fellow explorers, I descended into the abyss. The transition from the world of air to the world of water was a profound one. As I sank deeper, the pressure mounted, and the colors of the world around me shifted. It was as if I had entered a realm of perpetual twilight, where the sun's rays struggled to penetrate. Yet, as I descended further into the darkness, I was greeted by a world illuminated by the soft, otherworldly glow of bioluminescent organisms. It was a sight to behold, a celestial display beneath the waves, as if the stars themselves had descended into the ocean's depths. The creatures of the deep were equally enchanting. Strange and beautiful, they had adapted to the harsh conditions of this underwater world. Transparent fish with delicate fronds, bizarre cephalopods that seemed like creatures from a science fiction novel, and graceful, elusive sea dragons, all were part of this underwater wonder. As I explored this alien realm, I marveled at the diversity of life that flourished in the deep sea. It was a world of extremes, where darkness and pressure were countered by the vibrant and peculiar inhabitants that had evolved to call it home. One of the most captivating moments of this deep ocean exploration came when we encountered a massive, otherworldly jellyfish. Its translucent bell pulsed with an ethereal light, casting an enchanting glow around it. It moved through the water with a grace that seemed almost otherworldly, its long, delicate tentacles trailing behind it. We watched in awe as the jellyfish propelled itself forward, its movements a dance of elegance and mystery. It was as if we had stumbled upon a celestial creature, a living embodiment of the wonders of the deep. The deep sea expedition continued, revealing more secrets of this hidden world. We encountered creatures with intricate bioluminescent displays, their patterns and colors a beauty of adaptation. Schools of fish moved in synchronized harmony, creating mesmerizing displays of fluid motion. Yet, as I explored this submerged wonderland, I was struck by the sense of isolation that enveloped me. In the depths of the ocean, I was a visitor, a transient presence in a world that had existed for eons, far removed from the concerns of the surface. The ocean, vast and mysterious, held its own secrets and its own rhythm. It was a world where time seemed to stand still, where the ordinary rules of existence were replaced by the extraordinary. It was a place of silence and solitude, a realm of introspection and reverence. As I began my ascent back to the surface, leaving behind the deep sea world, I carried with me wonder. The ocean had revealed its secrets to me, if only for a fleeting moment, and I had been privileged to glimpse its mysteries. The surface came into view, and I emerged from the water, greeted by the warm embrace of the sun and the salty breeze. The crew had been watching my descent and welcomed me back on board with smiles and applause. It was a moment of shared celebration, a recognition of the wonders that the ocean had bestowed upon us. The moon, a radiant orb in the night heavens, cast its silvery glow upon the ocean's surface, transforming it into a shimmering canvas of liquid light. The ship, bathed in this celestial illumination, felt like a vessel of dreams, floating on the edge of reality and reverie. I often found solace in these moonlit nights on the deck. It was a time of quiet contemplation, a moment to embrace the serenity that the ocean offered. I would take my place on a weathered deck chair, the creaking of the ship's timbers a soothing lullaby, and lose myself in the boundless expanse of the ocean. The crew, too, would gather on the deck, their faces aglow with the moon's gentle light. We would share stories and laughter, the companionship of the voyage deepening under the silvery canopy of the night. It was a time to forge connections, to strengthen the bonds that held our maritime family together. One of the most cherished moments during these moonlit nights was the sharing of tales. Each member of the crew had a story to tell, a memory to impart, and as we sat together, these stories wove a maritime lore that stretched back through the ages. One such tale was about a legendary sailor who had once walked the same deck as we did. His name was Captain Elias, and he was known for his unshakable resolve and his unwavering connection to the ocean. The crew spoke of him with reverence, for he embodied the essence of a true sailor. Captain Elias had a special relationship with the moon. He believed that its silvery light held the power to guide ships safely through even the most treacherous waters. And so, on moonlit nights like these, he would climb to the highest point of the ship and gaze at the moon, as if seeking its celestial guidance. Legend had it that Captain Elias could read the moon's reflections on the water like a map, using its luminous patterns to navigate through hidden channels and past submerged dangers. His uncanny ability had earned him the reputation of being the most skilled navigator of his time. As the crew shared tales of Captain Elias, I was inspired by his unwavering connection to the ocean and the moon. As mariners, we were part of a lineage that stretched back through generations, a lineage that honored the elements and the mysteries of the night sky. The moon, with its timeless presence, seemed to watch over us as we shared our stories and looked back on our own maritime journeys. It was a silent witness to our laughter, our dreams, and our quiet moments of introspection. One moonlit night, as we sailed through calm waters, the crew and I decided to pay homage to Captain Elias. We gathered on the highest deck, and I took my place at the ship's helm, just as he had done in his time. The moon hung low on the horizon, its reflection dancing on the water like a celestial path. With reverence, I raised my hand to the moon and whispered silent for safe passage. The crew followed suit, their voices blending with the gentle night breeze. It was a moment of connection with the elements, a moment of timeless beauty of the sea and the moon. As I watched the moon continue its ascent in the night sky, I knew that these moments of serenity and connection were a treasure. Even in the vastness of the open sea, there was unity with the elements that had guided seafarers through the ages. The night had a calming effect on our spirits as we gathered on the deck under the celestial canopy. The tales of Captain Elias and the moon's guidance were fresh in our minds, and yet, as we settled in for the night, the ocean had more to reveal, its unpredictable temperament and the trials it would present. As the hours passed, a subtle change began to take hold. The gentle zephyrs that had caressed our faces turned into a brisk breeze, and the once calm sea began to stir. The crew, seasoned and vigilant, sensed the shift in the wind and prepared for what lay ahead. Dark clouds gathered overhead, obscuring the moon's radiant face. The stars, which had served as our companions in the night sky, were now hidden from view. It was a foreboding sign, that the ocean was a realm of constant change, and the tranquility of one moment could swiftly give way to the turbulence of another. As I stood at the helm, my gaze fixed on the horizon, I could feel the tension in the air. The ship's timbers creaked in response to the rising swell, and the crew moved with purpose, securing the sails and ensuring that all was in readiness. The first hints of the storm's arrival were subtle, the distant rumble of thunder, the flicker of lightning on the horizon. Yet, as the moments passed, the tempest revealed its true power. The wind howled through the rigging, and the waves grew in size and intensity. The ship, the Sea Serenity, was no stranger to the challenges of the open sea. It was a vessel built to weather the fiercest of storms. Yet, as the storm bore down upon us, there was a palpable sense of apprehension, a recognition of the formidable adversary we faced. Rain lashed against our faces, and the deck heaved beneath our feet. The crew worked tirelessly, their movements synchronized as they battled the elements. And the sails strained against the wind, their fabric snapping like a chorus of thunderclaps. As the storm raged on, I taught of the countless crews who had faced similar trials throughout history. No, the ocean was a relentless adversary, an unforgiving force of nature that demanded respect and resilience. Even in the face of adversity, the spirit of the mariner endured. The lightning illuminated the roiling waves, revealing their towering heights and churning fury. Each wave seemed like a living entity, a colossal force of nature that threatened to engulf us. The ship rose and fell with the rhythm of the ocean, its timbers groaning in protest. In the midst of the tempest, intimacy emerged among the crew. We were bound together not just by our shared purpose, but by the knowledge that our lives depended on one another's expertise and determination. It was the strength of the maritime family, a family forged in the crucible of the sea's trials. Hours turned into days as the storm continued its assault. It was a relentless adversary, unyielding in its fury. Yet, as a crew, we were equally unyielding in our resolve. We held fast to the helm, guided by the lessons of seamanship and the learning of those who had sailed these waters before us. And then, as suddenly as it had begun, the storm began to relent. The wind lost its ferocity, and the waves gradually subsided. The crew, weary but resolute, took a moment to catch their breath. It was a hard-fought victory, thanks to our skill and tenacity. As the storm clouds dispersed, the moon once again emerged from behind the shroud of darkness. Its silvery light bathed the ship in a gentle radiance, as if to offer solace and reassurance. We had weathered the storm, and the ocean, though capricious, had allowed us to pass. The tempestuous encounter with the elements had tested our mettle. We were thankful, and with resilience we continued our maritime journey. The moon cast its radiant glow upon the tranquil waters. It seemed to offer its celestial blessing, a reassuring presence after the trials of the storm. And as I stood at the helm, I remembered a lighthouse that had guided countless seafarers through treacherous waters. It was a beacon of hope, a reassuring guidepost for those navigating the perilous waters. And in that moment, I understood the impact that lighthouses had on the lives of mariners. The memory took me back to a moonlit night much like the one we were experiencing now. The ocean was calm, and the stars above twinkled with a quiet elegance. The crew of the Sea Serenity had gathered on the deck, their faces aglow with the moon's gentle light. As we sailed through the tranquil waters, a distant glimmer caught my eye. It was the faint, reassuring glow of a lighthouse on a distant shore. Its light flickered like a celestial heartbeat, a rhythmic pulse that beckoned us home. The crew and I watched in silence as the lighthouse continued its vigil. Even in the vastness of the open sea, there were guiding lights to lead us safely through the night. It was a symbol of hope. I recalled the story of a lighthouse keeper named Abigail, who had tended to the beacon for decades. She was a guardian of the night, a steadfast presence in the face of storms and solitude. Her dedication to her duty was a source of inspiration for all who knew her. Abigail had once shared with me the sense of purpose that came with her role. She spoke of the responsibility she felt to ensure that the light never faltered, that it continued to shine through the darkest hours. It was a calling, she said, that required both dedication and reverence. The lighthouse itself was a marvel of engineering, a tower of elegant simplicity, its light visible for miles. It had weathered the ravages of time and the relentless assault of the ocean, standing as a symbol of resilience and determination. As the Sea Serenity sailed on, the distant lighthouse gradually grew closer. Its light, now a brilliant beacon, guided us with unwavering precision. It was a welcome sight, an indication that we were nearing the safety of the shore. The crew and I watched in anticipation as the lighthouse's beams swept across the water, illuminating our path. It was a dance of light and shadow, like a waltz that spoke of the enduring partnership between sailors and the elements. As we approached the shore, the lighthouse keeper, Abigail, emerged to greet us. She stood on the rocky coastline, her silhouette framed by the beacon's radiant light. Abigail welcomed us with warmth and hospitality, inviting us to take refuge on the shore. It was a gesture of kindness. Even in the face of the sea's challenges, there were beacons of hope and fellow mariners to offer solace. As we gathered around a crackling fire, Abigail shared stories of the lighthouse's history and the captains who had passed this way. A maritime lore, woven with tales of courage, of ships that had weathered storms and found safe harbor. As I listened to Abigail's words, I felt complete. The lighthouse had guided us safely to shore, and the keeper's hospitality had offered us respite from the trials of the sea. It was a reminder that, even in the vastness of the open ocean, there were guiding lights and kindred spirits to offer guidance. As the Sea Serenity prepared to continue its voyage, Abigail stood on the shore, her hand raised in farewell. The lighthouse's beam continued to sweep across the water. So we left the comforting embrace of the lighthouse and ventured back into the open sea. We sailed further into the night. The night sky was clear, and the stars shone with a brilliant intensity, casting their radiance upon the tranquil waters. The ocean had a way of stripping away the distractions of the world and laying bare the soul. It was a place of introspection, a place where the sailor's innermost thoughts and emotions immerse. I remembered the conversations shared with fellow crew members during those quiet hours on the deck. We spoke of life's mysteries, of dreams and aspirations, and of the enduring bond between us and the sea. It was a camaraderie forged in the crucible of the elements, a brotherhood and sisterhood of souls connected by a shared love for the open sea. The solitude of the open ocean also brought self-reliance and resilience. In those moments when the sea tested our mettle, we discovered depths of strength and determination we never knew existed. In the face of adversity, the human spirit could rise to meet the challenge. The night sky, with its tapestry of stars, held its own allure. I often found myself gazing upwards, drawn into the celestial expanse. It was as if the stars themselves held the secrets of the universe, and I was a humble observer, seeking to decipher their cosmic language. In those moments of celestial contemplation, I felt humility. The sea and the stars were timeless entities, existing long before I had set foot on a ship's deck and destined to endure long after my journeys had come to an end. The moon, our steadfast companion, continued to cast its luminous glow upon the water. Its reflection seemed to beckon me, inviting me to dive into the depths of introspection and self-discovery. As I looked out over the tranquil sea, I pondered the lessons the maritime life had imparted. It was a life of constant change, of embracing the unknown. It was a life that had taught me the value of resilience, friendship, and reverence for the natural world. I recalled the countless sunsets and sunrises I had witnessed from the deck of the Sea Serenity. Each one was a sign of the cyclical nature of life, of the eternal dance between light and darkness. Like the human experience, where moments of joy and hardship flowed like the tides. The sea, with its vastness, had also taught me the value of humility. In the face of its boundless expanse, I was but a speck, a solitary soul adrift in a world of endless horizons. It was a humbling realization, one that had deepened my reverence for the natural world and my place within it. I often thought of the mariners who had come before me, those intrepid souls who had charted uncharted waters and ventured into the unknown. Their stories were woven into the fabric of maritime lore, to the indomitable spirit of those who dared to embrace the open sea. The night had passed, and the tranquil embrace of the sea held the Sea Serenity in its gentle sway. On the moon, having completed its celestial journey, bid farewell to the horizon, and the first light of dawn painted the sky with hues of pink and gold. As the ship sailed through the early morning hours, I look back on the many navigational challenges that defined a sailor's life. The open sea was a vast expanse, and at times, it could be an unforgiving one. It was a place where the sailor's skill and intuition were tested to their limits. I want to share one particular memory, a recollection of a voyage marked by unexpected detours and the navigation of uncharted waters. It was a journey that had tested our resolve and ultimately led us to discoveries both unexpected and enlightening. The tale began with a seemingly routine voyage, the crew of the Sea Serenity setting sail on a clear and tranquil morning. Our destination was a distant port, and our course was plotted with precision. The navigational charts and instruments were our guides, and we set forth with confidence in our abilities. But as the days turned into weeks, we encountered a series of unusual events that would forever alter the course of our journey. It began with a mysterious malfunction of our compass, the trusty instrument that had reliably guided us through the years. At first, we dismissed it as a minor inconvenience, a glitch that could be easily corrected. However, as the days passed, the compass continued to behave erratically, its needle spinning in unpredictable directions. It was as if the magnetic forces of the Earth had conspired against us. With our compass rendered unreliable, we found ourselves navigating by the stars, relying on celestial observations to chart our course. It was a skill that had been passed down through generations of seafarers, but it required a level of precision and expertise that tested even the most seasoned sailors among us. As we sailed on, our navigational challenges were compounded by the presence of dense fog that enveloped the sea like a shroud. Visibility was reduced to a mere few yards, and the world beyond our ship seemed to disappear into an impenetrable wall of mist. The crew worked tirelessly, taking turns at the helm and keeping a watchful eye on the lookout. It was a time of heightened attention as we navigated through the fog with caution and vigilance. The sea, with its unseen perils, became a realm of uncertainty and mystery. The challenges and uncertainties bound us together. We were a maritime family, and our shared experiences had forged a deep and unbreakable bond. In the face of adversity, the strength of the crew and the spirit of the sea were our greatest assets. Days turned into weeks as we continued our journey through the fog-shrouded waters. We encountered unexpected detours and uncharted routes, each one a test to our adaptability and resilience as sailors. And then, as if guided by a celestial hand, we stumbled upon a revelation that would forever change the course of our voyage. Through a break in the fog, we caught sight of a distant island, an island that did not appear on any of our navigational charts. The discovery filled us with curiosity. We approached the island with caution, dropping anchor in its tranquil bay. The island, lush and verdant, seemed to beckon us with its untouched beauty and the promise of unknown adventures. As we explored the island's shores, we uncovered its secrets, a profusion of exotic flora, vibrant avian life, and hidden coves with crystal-clear waters. It was a paradise untouched by human hands, untamed beauty of the natural world. Our time on the island was a respite from the trials of the open sea, a period of exploration and discovery that renewed our sense of wonder and reverence for the maritime world. We bathed in the cool waters of secluded lagoons, marveled at the kaleidoscope of tropical fish that danced beneath the waves, and reveled in the serenity of untouched beaches. But even as we embraced the island's beauty, we knew that our destiny lay beyond its shores. With our navigational instruments still unreliable, we set a course for the open sea once more, bidding farewell to the paradise we had discovered. As the day slowly surrendered to the approaching night, the crew of the Sea Serenity gathered on the deck to witness the breathtaking spectacle that awaited us, a radiant sunset over the open sea. The sky was a canvas of warm hues, shades of amber, coral, and gold painted across the horizon. The sun, a radiant orb of fire, began its descent toward the edge of the world, casting a mesmerizing glow that bathed the ship in a soft, golden light. I stood at the helm, my hands resting lightly on the wooden wheel, as I guided the Sea Serenity toward the heart of this celestial masterpiece. The sea itself seemed to come alive, its surface shimmering with 1,000 liquid diamonds, as if in tribute to the setting sun. The crew gathered in hushed reverence, their eyes fixed on the horizon as the sun's fiery edge kissed the edge of the sea. There was a tranquility that settled over us, a connection to the rhythm of the natural world. As the sun dipped lower, the sky transformed into a maze of colors, deep purples, soft pinks, and velvety blues blending together in perfect harmony. It was a sight that filled our hearts with serenity, the simple beauty that surrounded us. The sea, too, seemed to mirror the sky's transformation. It turned from a brilliant sapphire to a rich, velvety indigo, each ripple and wave catching the dying light of the sun. It was as if the entire world held its breath in reverence for this nightly ritual. I thought all the sunsets I had witnessed during my years at sea, each one unique, each one a demonstration of the ever-changing nature of the world. But this particular sunset, witnessed aboard the Sea Serenity, held a special place in my heart. The crew and I lingered on the deck, watching as the stars began to emerge in the darkening sky. It was a night filled with the feeling of contentment, a night when the worries and cares of the world faded away. The gentle sway of the ship on the tranquil waters added to the serenity that enveloped us. It was as if we were suspended in time, caught between the fading light of day and the emerging brilliance of the night. I turned to my fellow sailors, their faces bathed in the soft, ethereal glow of the twilight. There was no need for words. We shared a deep understanding of the beauty that surrounded us, a shared connection to the magic of the open sea. The stars above us shone brightly, guiding us through the night, and I knew that each day held the promise of new discoveries, new adventures, and new moments of serenity. The open ocean was a vast and endless expanse, and we were but humble travelers on its surface. As the twilight sky continued to deepen in hue, and the last vestiges of the sunset faded into the horizon, I retreated from the deck and found myself in the quiet solitude of my cabin. It was here, surrounded by the soft, warm glow of lamplight, that I often took a moment to think of the lessons I had learned throughout my life's journeys. The sea had been my constant companion, my mentor, and my muse. It had taught me invaluable lessons, lessons that extended far beyond the realm of sailing and navigation. It had imparted knowledge about life and the enduring human spirit. One of the greatest lessons I had learned was the art of adaptability. The sea was a fickle mistress, with ever-changing moods and tempestuous temperament. To navigate her waters successfully, one had to learn to adapt to her whims, to read her signs, and to adjust one's course accordingly. Life, too, was filled with its own unpredictable twists and turns. Just as a sailor must trim the sails in a sudden squall, so must we adapt to the challenges that life throws our way. It was a lesson that had served me well not only at sea, but in all aspects of life. Another lesson the sea had taught me was the importance of fellowship and teamwork. On a ship, every member of the crew played a crucial role, and we relied on each other for our very survival. We were a family bound not only by duty, but by deep bonds of trust and friendship. The memories of shared laughter, shared hardships, and shared triumphs were some of the most cherished in my heart. They were a testament to the power of human connection and the strength that could be found in unity. The sea had also instilled in me humility. In the vastness of the ocean, one could not help but feel small and insignificant. It was a humbling experience. There were forces greater than ourselves at play in the world. In our modern lives, it was easy to become consumed by ego and ambition, to lose sight of our place in the grand scheme of things. But the sea had a way of humbling even the proudest of hearts, reminding us that we were but tiny specks on a much larger canvas. Perhaps one of the most enduring lessons the sea had bestowed upon me was the importance of perseverance. Sailing across vast expanses of water, facing unpredictable weather and treacherous conditions, required unwavering determination and resilience. There were moments when the challenges seemed insurmountable, when the vastness of the ocean stretched out before us, seemingly endless. But it was in those moments that I had learned the true meaning of perseverance, of pushing forward even when the path ahead seemed daunting. As I sat in my cabin, surrounded by the comforting embrace of the ship, I understood that it was the ocean that had molded me into the person I had become. And as the Sea Serenity continued its journey through the tranquil night, I carried with me the sea, the lessons of a lifetime spent in its embrace. They were lessons that I would continue to carry with me, passing them on to the next generation of sailors and to anyone who sought the wisdom of the open sea. For the sea was not only a place of adventure and exploration, it was also a repository of timeless truths and insights. It was a teacher, a mentor, and a source of endless wonder. In the hustle and bustle of everyday life, it was easy to overlook the small wonders that surrounded us, but the sea had a way of revealing the profound in the seemingly ordinary. It had taught me to gaze in awe at the stars in the night sky, to listen with wonder to the soothing lullaby of the waves, and to find joy in the simple act of breathing in the salty sea air. As I closed my eyes in the quiet of my cabin, I remember the countless sunrises and sunsets I had witnessed at sea, each one displaying the beauty of life, a call to savor every moment, and a reminder to be present in the here and now. Like the ship, we too had weathered the storms of life, emerging stronger and more resilient with each challenge we faced. The sea had shown me that, no matter how fierce the tempest, there was always a calm on the other side. In the quiet of that moment, I contemplate on the journey that had brought us to this point, a journey filled with adventures, challenges, and moments of beauty. The sea had been our constant companion, guiding us through the vast expanse of the open ocean. And now, as the Sea Serenity continued its course, we were heading homeward. Homeward. The word itself held a special place in the heart of every sailor. It was a destination that represented not only a physical place, but a state of being, belonging, and connection. It was the place where loved ones waited, where familiar shores beckoned, and where the journey came full circle. As I stepped out onto the deck, I was met with the familiar sights and sounds of the ship. The crew moved with purpose and precision, their movements a well-choreographed dance honed by months at sea. The sails billowed in the breeze, propelling us ever closer to our destination. The sea, too, had taken on a new character, a gentler, more welcoming presence. Gone were the tempestuous storms and unpredictable squalls. In their place, the open sea spread out before us, its surface a tranquil expanse of azure blue. I watched as the crew went about their duties, their faces etched with purpose and determination. Each member had grown in skill and confidence over the course of our voyage. The lessons of the sea had not been lost on any of us. We had learned to trust in one another, to embrace the challenges of the journey, and to find beauty in the simple moments of life at sea. It was something that would forever bind us, a shared experience that transcended words. The shores of home drew nearer, and anticipation filled the air. We could taste the salt in the breeze, hear the distant cries of seabirds, and feel the warmth of the sun on our faces. It was a homecoming that we had all yearned for, a return to the familiar and the beloved. And then, it happened. A faint line on the horizon, a distant smudge that grew steadily larger with each passing hour. It was the long-awaited sight of land, a sight that filled our hearts with joy and excitement. As the Sea Serenity approached the coastline, a wave of emotion swept over the crew. We gathered on the deck, our eyes fixed on the approaching shore, our hearts brimming with grace for the journey we had undertaken. The familiar sights of our homeland came into view, the rolling hills, the quaint coastal villages, and the bustling harbors. It was a sight that brought tears to our eyes, a sight that spoke of home, of family, and of the ties that bound us to this land. And then, as the ship entered the sheltered harbor, the crew sprang into action. Lines were secured, sails were furled, and the anchor was lowered with a resounding splash. We had arrived, our journey complete. As I stepped onto the solid ground of the dock, a wave of emotion washed over me. It was a feeling of gratefulness for the sea that had been our teacher, for the ship that had been our home, and for the crew who had become like family. I turned to look back at the Sea Serenity, her timbers weathered and her sails furled, a vessel that had carried us through the trials and triumphs of our voyage. She had been our faithful companion, and now, with the journey complete, she would rest in the harbor until the call of the open sea beckoned once more. The journey had come full circle, and as I headed homeward, I carried with me the wisdom of the open sea and a heart filled with warmth, due to the adventure of a lifetime. And so, my friend, as I bid you farewell, I leave you with this final thought. May your own journey be filled with the lessons of the sea, the beauty of the open sky, and the warmth of home.